Okie dokie. So I'm just checking that we're live on Instagram. It says we're live. Okay, I think we're live. I mean, on Instagram, I can't tell. Double check on Instagram we're live. If not, it says we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So we are coming to you guys live
hopefully.
Hopefully. This is we're just doing a quick little test 1 2. I can see we're live. We are live on Soul Seekers Paranormal. I see on the Facebook. I see that we're live there. And YouTube. This is fun.
I can't see anything on Instagram, but
yeah, the Instagram didn't seem to connect. It says we're live on Instagram, but let me see.
Oh, well.
Oh, here we go. I had to click the button. I think we'll be live. Yeah, we're live on Instagram. There we go. I can even see the comments if I want to as well on Instagram. Cool. Okay, I think we're up and running. Do you see us on
Yes,
YouTube?
I do.
You see us on YouTube too?
Oh, I'll check YouTube. Bear with us.
I hope YouTube. That's one I sent to my mom.
Okay, check YouTube. I think we're live everywhere. So, woo! I think we're going.
Yeah.
It's live on YouTube. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, this is so fun.
Okay, this is awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Food and Spirits. Food and Spirits, Soul Seekers Paranormal. We are so excited that you're joining us tonight. So tonight we are going to recap one of the most fun, most epic, I would say to date, ghost hunts that we've been on. And
surprising too.
Completely surprised us. Literally, this investigation, we had no clue what was in store for us. It just started out as an innocent, hey, come to my house that has a well in the basement. You might think it's cool. And then all of this other stuff happened. But before we go into that, because the nature of the show is food and spirits, we want to showcase what's everybody eating tonight for their snacks. What do you guys got?
Do you say for the fat? Because this is what I brought. That's clearly what's going to happen.
Oh, snap. You got the snappers going. Okay. It's clearly a chocolate night because I got my Wonder Bar going. A Wonder Bar.
A giant cookie.
So we're all sweet. What do you got?
I'm savory only, forever and ever. Okay. Salt of the earth.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? That's perfect because you are such a unique, wonderful person. It's perfect.
Thank you.
So what are you having?
I got popcorn.
Popcorn.
And my bubbly.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's cheers, everybody. Cheers. I can't tell my...
I have some cream of Earl Grey happening.
I got water.
See it, the green screen. There it is. Sort of. There's my little bear. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's back it right up so why did we go to this house? It is a beautiful pink house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys through my background. I'm going to show you some pictures of things as we go along to kind of recap the night to back up things that we're talking about. So for example, the house, I'm going to show you if you can see this here. Let me know if this is available to your guys' eyes. Right here. Can you see? 1 second. It's supposed to be on your background?
It's going to be in 2 seconds.
Okay.
My background is...
Yay.
It doesn't fit away, but this is a bit of the house. Okay.
It looks way better now, a month later, all the spring, all the flowers and stuff now. So that was a perfect backdrop. It was the perfect night for it. It was gray and stormy and cold.
Yes. So it was beautiful. So do you want to talk about why we even went to this house in the first place? Because a lot of people do ask us, do you do house calls? Like, do you come to our house? Like, we get asked that. And yeah, we will come to your house. If your house is haunted and you want us to come, yeah, heck yes. But like, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's back it up to why this house?
Well, Amy, you and I met. We were both working our day jobs,
Yes.
and we were just chatting in reception, the lobby of the hotel I was working at, and Haunted was taking over the hotel for the night. And I just casually was like, "Oh yeah, like my house is the same age as this hotel. Isn't that weird?" Oh yeah, like I have this like stone well in my basement. Isn't that so creepy? I have a little girl who tells me about her ghosts every single morning.
That's
Isn't
really
that
close up.
so?
Just look at this. Every morning, this little girl.
Every single morning.
Yeah.
She tells me about what she sees, and then I was like, "Oh, isn't that so weird?" And then Amy emailing me, cue Amy email. I have a show. I have a YouTube podcast. Can I come to your house? Like, yes.
I was like, can we come play at your house, please? Let's remember like the well. Like I was hyper focused on the well.
You were.
He was like, it's from the Ring. There's a well in my basement with like a tin cup from the 1800s. And I was like, I want to see your house.
That
Like
was my first note of what to talk about, was that right here at the top of my notes, the well was almost a deal breaker for me buying the house.
Was it?
I almost couldn't deal with it. The whole thing. I was like, this is the perfect house in the perfect location. I love it so much. But the Ring, when I watched it, what was it, over 20 years ago now? How long has it been? Like over 20 years ago. To this day, I'm so scared of a little ghost girl coming out of the well. Now I have one.
Yes.
it's like you're living the Ring. It's a real life
I
ring.
am.
So
I
And
yeah,
it's funny because the well was the least of the things that night, quite honestly.
that is really funny, which that happened. I was like, that was the least active spot of everything that we thought. So Joelle was like, you know what? You can definitely come play. And here's the funny thing. We never met before. We met once, and we were talking about her creepy house. She says, yeah, come on over. So I take her up on the offer. And then here we are, we're pulling up to her house. And I was like, okay, so are you going to be there? Do you want to be a part of it? And she's like, oh no, we're taking off for the weekend. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what? She legitimately left the doors open for a bunch of strangers to come into her house to investigate it, and like total trust in us.
Why not?
It was incredible. Just that right there was just so cool. All the girls were like, what? Like, she's not going to be there. Like, nope, we have her house to herself. We had snacks in your house. We had.
Oh, I know. I watched it.
Like there was. We moved in. We put
There was a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
we moved in.
we cleaned up after ourselves, which is good.
We literally would not have even known you were there, except if you just moved to the side, Amy, on the photo of my house on the front door, that tiny little white right above like the green door there, that little strip of white, that's actually a camera. We never would have known you were there, except the camera was picking up your activity. And from the cottage, Victor, my husband, was just like, they're there, they pulled up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So a couple times before we're going to bed, it's getting on, like it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and Victor's like, they're still there. Like, it just got dark. What do you want them to do? Ghost hunt in the daylight?
Exactly. So the fun part about this, Kate couldn't come on tonight. She's not feeling well. So she sends her love to everybody. So Kate had put out a call, well, sort of, not really. She just happened to talk about, this ghost hunting paranormal investigation going on by like Ozzy Osbourne's son, Jack Osbourne, was doing something in New Brunswick. And she said she'd always loved to ghost hunt. So I just kind of reached out and I was like, do you want to come on a ghost hunt with us sometime? And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I said, well, we're going to this, house with a well in the basement. Do you want to join us? And she was like, yes. So it was her very first ghost hunt. So it was exciting to bring her along with us. So that added an interesting dynamic to the mix of having someone not do it before. And she had the most interesting thing happen to her, which we can talk about in a minute. But Tanya, do you want to kind of like start off, like kind of back up like the beginning of the investigation at all and start kind of going through some of the things that happened, and we can I can show some pictures of things to support what you're talking about. I can show them as well.
So just like kind of from the top, basically.
Yeah, like let's take our
So-
experience from the top. Like people are going to see this
Yeah.
video. It's on YouTube. You can watch it, but we want to kind of recap and like really share our like we showed you the video as it is, but like, you know, hearing it from us and like other nuances and little things like that that don't get put on the show.
Yeah, so it's actually two parts. The second part was just released last week. So we pull up, and whenever we do an investigation, there's always like a bit of a tour. You got to get the lay of the land, right? You got to know where things are, and you're taking like mental notes of like, ooh, I got a vibe here. Ooh, I'm not getting anything here. So we're doing this tour, and we go. There's 3 floors. So there's the basement where there's the well that we're talking about, then the main floor, and then the attic. No, and then there's another floor, isn't there? And then the attic.
It's
Yeah.
four. It's 4. It looks like tiny. It's like that from the street. The house looks tiny, but it goes down all the way and up all the way, and then like there's the extra room in the back. Like you guys had the little extra staircase.
Yes.
We call
Yeah.
that the maid's quarters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What? Yeah. The second staircase.
Yeah.
So we were touring, and then we went up in the attic and felt things right away. And there was, so it's kind of mirrored. Like one side of the house has the exact same window as the other side of the house in the attic. And they're like little church window, kind of like they're unique looking windows. And both sides of the attic had chairs facing those windows looking out. So we're like, this is kind of creepy. We love it. So
That's
I
a
was like,
leftover from when we were painting. I had to go out and help Victor, like, because we did it ourselves, and he had this big 40-foot ladder, and I had at one point there was like there's some sort of like rope systems because he had to like hold onto the window and like reach into the very peak to paint. And at one point he was hanging out of the window backwards. There was a handle hanging out the window backwards and like reaching up to paint the very top. So I would just sit out there and like watch him and help.
well, so it was really neat because there was these 2 like chairs, which was unique to see. It just looked like it was mirrored from each side.
Hmm.
And then I was like, well, let's just take some pictures here. And when we were reviewing the pictures, so Amy sat down and took pictures, Tara and myself. And for some reason, my pictures were completely wacky. Like they looked like I had like crazy hair. One picture looked like my head was in my stomach. Like they were all very weird. And Amy's like, you look like a funhouse clown.
I'm trying to upload the picture now, but for some reason it's not uploading. So
Oh.
sorry guys. I was going to show you the picture up close, but it's like it's not letting me. So that one I
It's
can't
not
show you
letting
that one.
Yeah.
So it looked like her hair was like like this and kind of blue, and her head looked like it was down like lower than her body, and it was all sideways. But she wasn't sitting like that or looking like that in person. But these pictures were coming out, and I was like, Tanya, you look like one of those evil carnival clowns. Like it was really weird, like so strange.
Hated smile too. Like there was this like weird shadow over your mouth. Like it was strange.
It was very strange. And you guys, everybody, when they came up in the attic said we felt really discombobulated, although we were joking that we said ovulated, but that's not it. We just felt really like dizzy and off center. And then we started to say like it feels like we're in a fun house, you know, where there's the mirrors and everything's like wonky. And so we're talking about this, and then I hear Kate and Tara, they went into this little shed. And I hear them and I go in, and they're like screaming and laughing. And I go in and I go up the stairs in this attic, and there are life-size clowns there. One of looked like what I look like in that picture.
Like,
we had no clue
we
they
love
were there.
Halloween. What can we say?
But we had no idea those clowns were in there because we were up in the attic investigating, taking pictures. We all feel funny and weird, and we're like, oh, it's like carnival. Then they're in there, and then they bring me in because they're all screaming like, Amy, get in here. So then I come in.
My neighbor heard you guys.
My I like screamed because I was like, oh my God, like it was freaky. And the funny thing is that, you know, like not only did you have those clowns, but you also had carnival paraphernalia, like these little ride on horsey things from like a merry-go-round. And then not to mention, Kate, for some reason, felt compelled to bring popcorn that had a clown that looked exactly like that on the bag. And we were like, what is happening? And I love it because you told me afterwards. I remember I messaged you and I told you about it. And you were like, yeah, I think I undersold my host. I forgot to tell you we're kind of like carnival vibe people. I was like, yeah, you forgot to mention that part. We discovered it.
We love Halloween so much. You guys, I invite you all to come down on Halloween. We get 300 kids.
Oh,
Wow.
I have to budget like we did king size candy bars last year. We're like the house. So the clowns come down, and the thing I don't know what you called it, like a big seance monster, like at the top of the bar and stuff. That's like a big. I can't even describe it. It's like we like nail it. So behind your head, Amy, where that little bench is, that window there, I call it the Dementor. It like takes up that whole entire section of the house. We like nail it to the house, and it like spreads right out, and all the dolls that you guys saw, like up in the cap, those were all mine from when I was a kid. They were in my room. They've been in my house in my life since I was like before I was born. I have lived with those dolls my whole life. I've never known my life not with those dolls. And I won every year more and more. They're all my sisters. They don't want them. They're all in my house. They're all my sister's dolls too. Mm-hmm. And we bring them out like that little grassy patch in front of that bench there. We had them all the dolls. We had all the dolls watching a static TV for our Halloween decoration. And all the kids are like, that's so weird. And all the parents are freaked the F out because they're like, the static, like, no, the static. The kids are like, what is the TV's broken? And all the parents are like, no, the static. What's the one with like the little girl gets stuck in the static TV? Mm-hmm. What's that movie called?
It's called
Poltergeist. Yeah. We were doing like a poltergeist with like the little girls, like the little dolls worshiping the TV, and like we go all out. We love it. I want you all to come down on Halloween and see.
That'd be fun.
Wow.
We love it.
When I have a lot, I wasn't expecting the Dementor, so kind of.
Nobody does. You don't expect a 9-foot Dementor, but there he is every year.
Yeah, Kate called it. She's like, "What the hell is that? What is this? A seance shed?"
No, all we do is just play. We just play N64 in the. That's all we do. We go there all the time, play N64, watch old VHSs on the tube TV, and just live like we're kids in the 90s.
I love it.
It's amazing. So that shed was definitely lots of fun vibes. The host was so great. And so from the shed, we went inside, and then we started investigating inside the house after we had the fun time in the shed. So now it gets interesting when we get inside the house. So we go down to the well. We go down to the well, and we kind of open up the well and bring the energy through, and anyone that wants to come through.
Oh, and my sister is so mad at that. She texts me. She's like, "You're not supposed to do that. I have to live at your house sometimes. I stay at your house. You're not supposed to do that. I'm so mad."
But we closed it at the end, as you see.
Well, she did. Yeah, she didn't really know that part, and she's just like, she just got to that part. She's like, texting. She's like, "Why would you do this? I love your house so much. Why would you do this to me?"
To be honest, nothing really came through that well that wasn't there already. Like I had a very big sense that you have a lot of guardians and ancestors that are protecting you, and they're not going to let anything like that. Anything
up on our mantle every day, all day.
That lady, let's talk about that.
She looks over us from our mantle every single day. We've never moved her. She lives up on the mantle, and that's where she is. Love her.
Oh yeah, she made herself known.
That was incredible. We had no idea about that picture. We didn't see that until after the fact. so when we went up into the attic and we decided, let's take this opportunity to like, there's 2 mirrors. Let's do a double scry session where we both scry at the same time in the window, because you could see with the lighting and like you could see your reflection in the window. So it was a really great opportunity to scry. So we're scrying at the same time, and Tanya and I are describing the exact same thing, what we're seeing, and we can't hear each other because it's really far. Like we could barely hear what each other was saying. So we weren't being led by one another at all. It was completely independent of like what we were seeing. We were seeing this, and it's funny because what we describe is looking out and only being able to kind of see out of the one eye. It's like we were seeing through the picture, because the lady in the picture has a fold over her one eye.
And I never noticed that either. It's like a scratch.
There's a scratch over her eye on the photo, and we all said there's something weird with this one eye. We can't see out of it. Like it's all weird and like kind of like closed or something. Like we all were having trouble with this one eye, which was so weird because when you look at the photo, the scratch is on her eye of the photo. So it was really strange that we were picking like we were seeing her almost through the picture. Like she was looking through the picture and we're capturing her looking through the picture, but we could see her face and her description because we were describing that like her, like we were fully describing her. And then we switched because we could tell something was trying to come through that wasn't very nice. So Tanya and I were like, no, let's switch off and see what happens. So Kate goes in and Tara goes in.
Mishka pulled you out. He was just like, no.
Yeah, totally broke it. But did you notice Mishka broke the scry at the perfect time because we were on it to get out, right? Anyways, right? So it was like, no, you're done. And so they took over. And like while Tara was scrying with Kate at the same time, Kate's face started doing some really crazy shit that we caught on camera. Like you can visually see her face changing in the window. Like, tell me you don't see that. You see that her face changes in the window. I've never ever seen that in my life. Like when we see something, it's like we see it, but no one else kind of sees it. You just almost look like a crazy person because you're like, I see this and this and this. Like you say what you're seeing, but no one else sees it, right? You see it and you're describing what you see. So to pick up on camera what she's like, because it's the funny thing is she said she didn't see that for her face when she was looking in the mirror. She said, I just looked like I was staring straight ahead. I was like, Kate, your eyes are rolling in the back of your head. They're going, and her face was going all morphed. But she's like, I just thought I was staring straight ahead. I was like, you weren't. Like, I have video proof of what you were actually doing.
But that little bit in that first promo video, and I thought that you guys brought like some sort of wax, like mask, and like just like it was some sort of problem. Like, there is nothing like that in my house. That is way too much. Like, that is like the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And that was really her face. And I was like,
it was so strange.
I kept joking all night. It's your face. Like, your face looks so gross. But like, it was her face. Like, it was gross.
Tara, you were scrying. That was both Kate and Tara's first time scrying in a mirror, which is when you look at a reflective surface and then you go kind of in this like trance-like state, and then things will either your face will start shifting or you'll start seeing things behind you. It's a way to channel in a way. So how was that experience for you?
It was definitely a unique experience for me. I didn't expect to see anything. Honestly, I expected to look in the window and see myself for a period of time and then be done. But that is definitely not what happened. Almost instantly, I could see my features starting to change and shift, and I just ran with it, and it was definitely interesting.
What did you see? The same things, right?
The same things, the elongated nose. I think the one thing that came through for me that stood out was just that kind of, I interpreted it as stern, but I would say now I feel like it's more like that stoic monarchy woman, but very, very.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to change my background because I think I have a picture here of Kate looking all wonky, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my background.
Both windows have a little bit of distortion just because of their age, but
not much.
But not much, not enough to just our faces to that extent.
No.
That's the one. Oh man.
Like that's not her face. Just
No.
saying.
Like her eyes are like white and rolled up. Like that's not normal.
She's a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Face.
Like that, I've never seen this happen before. And it was changing right in front of our faces, like in the camera. I was like, this is bananas what I'm seeing right now. I was freaking out.
Yeah, I had to go up there yesterday and I was so scared. That was the first time I'd been up since you guys were up there. I forgot.
Oh my God. Had you question for you, Joelle, have you ever felt that disoriented feeling in the attic?
Yeah, I actually made some notes about that. It's like, oh yeah, like you guys went up there and then you went outside and like your memory were all foggy and you're all like distorted and like all this. So I was like, oh, I thought that was just me being like a new mom or like maybe a little bit of early onset dementia or something. Maybe it's just my house. I don't know.
Do you feel that too in your house?
Well, just in general, maybe. I'm definitely known for having a terrible memory. And maybe that mixed with, being new mom, COVID, long COVID. I've had the craziest long COVID, 2 years without being able to smell or taste.
Oh, no.
And it's starting to come back now. It's the craziest thing. So yeah, I was like, oh, I really relate to this part, the memory and the distortion. That's me. That's just me as a person.
Wow.
Well, maybe we're sensing your energy there.
It could be. It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the prior, so we bought the house from 2 elderly people. The woman had dementia and the gentleman had brain cancer. And they were the only 2 living there for 17 years prior to us getting it. They had inherited it themselves from a very old gentleman. So it's just like they themselves, I think George, who I bought the house from, I think he was 95. And he and his wife got willed the house from an old gentleman who like had a big falling out with his family. So Joan took care of the old man. So Joan and George, I bought the house from. Joan took care of the old man, and then he willed it to her as like his heiress, whatever. So it's just like years and years. The last like 50, 60 years has only had like old people, very elderly people in the house.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, no kids, nothing.
Wow. And then something cool happened that we picked up on. Now, this was really interesting because we didn't put clues together until we almost had the video posted, and then we got a bit of information last minute that we had to edit into the video of part 2. Was we were in your little playroom area where for your daughter, she like is all schooling and stuff, like school stuff that's in there. It looks like almost set up like a little schoolroom of sort, which is really cool. And we brought the ovilus in there, and the ovilus started spitting out words that were related to like teacher and education, like all these words that were very educational and teacher-like. And then at one point, the ovilus spits out a S and an H. And we even say, we're like, is that somebody's initial? And then we just go on to make a joke to say, it's probably just telling us to shush.
Yeah. No, yeah. It is totally the original, the man who commissioned the house to be built. So the original owner, John Hunt, his daughter, Sadie Hunt, S-H.
Sadie Hunt. And she was the teacher.
She was a teacher. So this could be Sadie, maybe. I don't know. And and I didn't tell you guys this. It's funny that you were like all this like teacher and like teacher vibes. If you go back to the part 1 video at I think I have down minute 37. You guys are just hanging out in like my back porch area. Like you have all your luggage, like just where you like enter the house in the back.
Yeah.
we're pretty positive that room, you can see there was like almost like a desk and like a filing cabinet on the side. We're pretty sure she taught in that room.
Really?
The filing cabinet part had a ton of teacher stuff in it. Like, not that it would really necessarily survive the 1800s, but the and you can't even really see it, but like to the, like when you're looking at the room towards the back, towards the left, towards the windows, there's these like these tube inserts, and we found a bunch of like charts and maps and like things for kids and like a whole like just a whack of school stuff. So we're pretty sure she was a teacher for just like, it would have been like the immediate area's kids in that little back room.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
But that was so cool that because we didn't know what SH stood for at the time, so we just made jokes like, it's telling us to be quiet. Like, it could be an initial, but we don't know. And then come to find out, you messaged me later, and you said you told us about because Tanya was asking about a name, Lisa. Lisa came up.
Yeah, because I was in editing. It was like, ask if you knew the Lisa, because it also said Lisa, and then you said no Lisa, but then Amy sent your message to me, and then there was the Sadie Hunt, and I like, my heart started racing, and I was like, message, oh my god, it said SH, and it was all school teacher stuff. Like, I was freaking out, and I got goosebumps from, like, I was like goosebump city, because I was like, it was so clear for the ovilus to say SH, like it doesn't talk like that, you know what I mean? Like, that was very weird, and it just really kind of stuck out. So in editing, I found that, and then when you sent that back, I was flipping out. I was like, that's crazy.
You're like major texting me. Oh my gosh! Like, she started going freaking crazy, like messaging me, like, you got it! Oh my gosh, can you believe it? And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So she like quickly edited it to insert it so that we could, like, before we publish the video, to get that in there, because that was a cool finding after the fact. And so
Tara actually set up the dead bell in that room, because we didn't really pay attention to that room. We just kind of walked through it when we were doing a tour. And then we were having our ghost shows, which is our, we always kind of like at the end of the investigation, we have nachos, we call them ghost shows, and we talk about the investigation. And so Tara's like, oh, I'm just going to take the dead bell, which is like, they have to, like, you actually have to touch it. The spirits have to touch it to go ding.
Yeah.
She said it in that room, and we're sitting there eating nachos, and that thing was just ding, ding, and we're just keeping eating nachos.
She's definitely still around. So Sadie is still around. The gravestones lined up against the barn.
Oh yeah.
You guys call it the shed. I call it the barn. And so one of them, the initials were SMD. Sadie married a man, Charles Davis. So her initials when she died would have been SD.
That's her grave. That's underneath your shed.
And I didn't line them up. Like, we did kind of line them up like that, kind of not. We found them in very strange places. Like, I think somewhere like maybe in the barn, somewhere like maybe in the grass. Like, I don't think that we disturbed any like graves per se.
Yeah, we were wondering about where you found these graves. We were like, where did she find these gravestones? And then now she's using them to prop up her shed.
Yeah.
Like, we were really concerned about this.
And using them as Halloween props is probably not like the most kosher way to go, but there are gravestones now, and I'm sure Sadie would have loved this, because she obviously loved kids. She was a school teacher.
Oh, that's awesome. We just got a comment here from Cassin Lee. Hello, you're from Sri Lanka, I believe. So hi, low, all the way from Sri Lanka. Thank you for this comment. He said, I love your investigations because they're 50% serious and 50% comedy. Yes, that is who we aim to be. We like to have fun when we're doing our work. We find the work, we take the work seriously, but we don't take ourselves serious. And I think that comes through in videos.
I think that's so absolutely reasonable if the ovulus was telling us to shush. I think that's why we went in that direction, because
there's no way that playroom is telling anyone to shush. We have baby raves in there where we just have like a ton of like the little lights that flash and whatever, and we'll just like dance out the sillies before bedtime.
Oh, I
that's
love it. So some other cool things happen. So who in the bathroom upstairs, is that your bathroom? How old's your daughter right now?
She just turned 3. So for her to verbalize all these like ghost encounters every morning to me, like she just turned 3.
Okay, so
she's special.
She's very little.
As soon as I saw the picture on the fridge, I was like, her eyes, I was like, yeah, she sees spirits. Like there's
Ghost
just
girl?
no doubt.
Absolutely.
She is so connected to the spirit world, and you can see that right in her eyes. Like there.
The day I met Amy in the hotel, the next morning, Imogen woke up and she was like, "Oh, you know, I had a dream. I had a dream, and in this book, these guys were going on vacation to Mahone Bay." I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." She's like, "Yeah, and in this one, this book grew a mouth and talked to me in the night."
I got like,
what? Are you serious?
The day I met you.
She predicted what was going to happen.
Something was talking to her. Someone was talking to her in that room, and because this one normally they have like little like lists of books or like little pictures on the back or whatever, but this one was like kind of blank. And this one grew a mouth and talked to me.
Was this before we came or after?
That was after I met Amy, but before you came, so in that gap.
Whoa!
I'm shook right now.
As soon as I saw her picture, I was like, that girl is connected to spirit. Holy cow.
Yeah, she is.
She's magical.
Wow. I am completely like just mind blown at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wild. Your daughter's so connected.
She is. Ever since she could like verbalize anything. It's just like, oh yeah, the ghost boy that lives behind my dresser.
And the funny thing is, though, is that you and your husband are skeptics, non-believers.
No. We've never felt anything, but now, since you guys have been there, have you guys heard my ghost cat story from Amy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But did you hear Victor's ghost cat story? So he's even more of a for anyone who doesn't know, I got woken up maybe a week and a half ago or so by the loudest meow at 5:30 a.m. That's Mishka's classic, "I'm sick of this house, let me outside," 5:30 meow. Like, oh my God, please no. But then he's like purring in my ear so loud, I cannot ignore him. Like, okay, you're gonna wake up Victor, like let's just go out, whatever. So I leave the room, he doesn't follow me out of the room. Like, oh well, he'll just like zoom past me on the stairs, like whatever cat does. They just like rip right by you on the stairs. And so yes, he like he tried to trip me on the stairs, and I'm looking around, going to open the door, like he's not here. Where did he go? Did he go in the basement? No, basement is shut. All the doors are shut. He did not come in the house. Maybe like 5 or 6 hours later, he was out the whole time. There was no cat. I clearly heard him. He woke me up with the meow. I clearly heard him meowing, purring, ripped by me, and he is always on the back steps waiting to come in whenever I open the door. Like if I opened it at 6:30, 5:30, 7, whatever, he's on the back porch ready to come in. He didn't come in till like 10:30, 11 that morning. So a week later, so like a couple days ago even, again, he didn't come home in the morning, which is just so weird for him. He wasn't home. We're like kind of like, oh my God, like what? Where is he? Because the raccoons are out. Like there's coyotes in Mahone Bay now. We don't know. And we're waiting for hours for him to come. I go upstairs and Victor calls, oh, he was here the whole time. He was in the basement. He just came up out of the basement. He opened the door. He came out. He's out of the basement. No. Ghost cat.
Ghost cat. We awakened this ghost cat. So now you and your husband, you're not full believers, but you're venturing on the side of possibility?
Well, now that we have a ghost cat pranking us by trying to trip us on the stairs and trying to like lure us into the basement by opening the door, I don't know. And I sent you that photo of the cat painting you guys missed.
Yes, I'm going to. So we've missed this completely in the investigation because it was covered up and we didn't see it. Mm-hmm. Tell the story about this. This is crazy, you guys. I'm going to put this picture up. and you tell the story about it. It's nuts.
It was here when we moved in. What's there to say? This painting, this perfect painting of Mishka laying in a fireplace in the playroom, the little schoolroom playroom. He's painted, forever memorialized in the mantle. That was painted decades ago, before Mishka was even a speck, before he was a thought, before we ever thought about living in Mahone Bay or buying this house.
This cat is etched in your mantle, like etched in your mantle from like the 1800s. This cat is etched in your mantle.
It's like oil painting on a big piece of backing board. So like when they would have when they were done with the fireplaces and whatever, it's screwed in. It's just like a big painting you can take off. And he's there. He still lives here. He's always been here. He'll be here protecting people everywhere.
That must be the ghost cat.
That's Ghost Cat. It's exactly Ghost Cat. Because I saw Mishka go by me on the stairs, and that's Mishka.
But it wasn't Mishka.
It wasn't Mishka.
It's this guy right there.
But even like the paws being like a little bit white, and then the back paws having a lot of white, and the eyes being green, like it's all Mishka. The big white bib, like orange cats come in a variety pack. Like you can get any style orange cat, but that orange cat.
Do you have Mishka with you nearby right now?
No, I tried to get him in. I thought he'd make a cameo, but he didn't want to come in. He's always out at night.
I was gonna say, but anyways, this looks like your cat.
That's my cat. The white boots, like see, it's like bigger, like the bigger white on the back paws versus like the little white mittens. Like that's him.
That is just beyond nuts.
Maybe he's reincarnated.
Do
you know what I mean? Like maybe his spirit was that cat.
Oh, I just remembered this house was owned by relatives of the family I got Mishka from.
What is happening right now?
I just remembered that. Yes. They're related.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know the exact connection, but I know so my coworker at the hotel I work at, it wasn't his grandparents here, but like some sort of like elderly relatives, and he would come visit here. So he knew my house before I did. And the farm I got Mishka from, a little barn cat kitten, is his first cousins. So I know that there's family connection. I just remembered.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So some other things that happened was like when we were outside looking inside, there was like crazy heat in the windows, but only some of the windows. And so that was really interesting because it was a really strange, because it was cold. It was cold up in the attic, but yet it was glowing from the outside white hot on the thermal gun. So that was really interesting. And then we went up in the bathroom was one of the ones that glowed as well. So we went in there, and while we were doing the gun, it changed color. Like it went like when it goes cold, the gun will, like the colors on the thermal gun will turn like green and blue for cold. And when it's hot, it'll go like red and then white if it's like super, super duper hot. And so it was almost like the temperature of the bathroom was like the steady temperature was like a hot temperature, but it wasn't hot to stand in there. But from the outside, it looked hot looking in. But then when it was like something would walk in front of it and go, and it would turn.
There's no heat in the entire upstairs. We only have that heat pump in the living room. There's no heat in the whole upstairs.
And it was glowing white hot. And then like something would go in front of it, like obviously cool, because it would turn white, and you could see it going right in front of the camera. Right.
I do have one legitimate happening in that bathroom. We used to have a ton of roommates in this house. At one point, there was 8 of us living here. So we had to build that bathroom. That was a bedroom. So there's 8 of us living here. We only have the one bathroom downstairs, the one with the pink door that Tanya likes.
I love that door.
So we had to build the bathroom upstairs. So it was a bedroom. And the new consensus from my family chat was that the ghost who lives in that bedroom doesn't like it being a bathroom now, so it disturbs people. So my sister, who's all mad about the portal being open, she used to live with me too. She was one of the roommates. And she was so convinced one time she was in that bathroom, she was so convinced that her boyfriend was right behind her and like brushed up against her butt and like kind of like grabbed her butt.
Yeah.
Whipped her around. I was like, Sam, I was like, oh God, yeah, you're here. And she like turned around and was like, I'm alone. A ghost grabbed your butt in that bathroom.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
You got felt up in the bathroom.
But it's funny, we would pick something up in the bathroom, not knowing.
When you're like doing the sensor, it's like walking by, like breezing by. It's like, yeah, ghost walked by and grabbed my sister's butt. Didn't grab my butt pinch.
So when your family was watching, the videos go up, were you guys like just kind of in a way like in awe of like they're picking out all the things that like, because we never knew your house and we never knew anything, and all the areas we're picking things up. Like, do you find like you're putting two and two together, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy?
It is pretty crazy, and it's so untypical of Mishka to be in the house at night. Like I've said that before, but he is actually so protective of Imogen in all facets. We had that crazy rain event last year, like not the hurricane, but like the rain where it thundered and lightning in Mahone Bay for over 24 hours. We were just in the thick of it. We were outside like exploring. I don't know, it's not safe being outside in thunder and lightning. And Mishka is outside in the pouring rain, the absolute pouring rain, because Imogen is outside and he's like butting his head up against her and like trying, like driving her back into the house. He did not want her to be out in that at all.
And he did not leave our side the whole night. Like
he was not like him. He's a classic cat where he's like, I don't care about you. I'll leave for 3 days. Like I don't care about any of this. And that he was up and down. He was with you guys. He looked exhausted by the end when you guys are in Imogen's room and the bell's going off and the thing is beeping and he's just like, please.
That was really crazy when it did that so first of all, can you hear the door creaking in the video? Like,
and that specifically, I think, did I write down a minute? I have a bunch of minute reference points, but you can look when you guys are up there, it's like towards the end of part 2, you can see that the edge of the door is just so slightly at the edge of her area rug. They overlap a little bit. We did that on purpose because that door is swinging constantly. And so that it was moving, even though it was stuck perfectly where it's supposed to be, resting on the carpet so it will stay open. And it was still like doing its own thing.
Wow. So it's on the rag. The door opens.
Oh yeah, it opens and closes like crazy. So we did that on purpose, like the area rug perfectly aligning with the door so it would stick it open. But even the area rug, when you guys were in there, wouldn't stop the door. It was trying to do its thing.
It was like creak.
Yeah.
And then it said closet and pray. And I was like, I'm not going in her closet right now.
Yeah.
For that.
And Imogen loves to play in there. She plays in there all the time. She wants me to, she can't quite reach the doorknob to like open it because they're like on little stickers. And she wants to go in there all the time.
Okay, she's not scared of the spirits that are
No,
in
she
there.
wants to hide in there. You can see her little hands like come up and like grab the edges of the door, like pull it closed on herself. She wants to like be in there.
You think that's a portal? Like, and she's going somewhere? Like,
I don't know because she doesn't do that really anywhere else or with anything else. But she'll like go in that little closet and just like claw those little doors back.
But see, it might not necessarily be the room. I think it's her.
Yeah,
that's why that room is so active, and why, because she is so. When you can sense spirits, they know it. So you're like a lighthouse. And
but
so
she's never scared. Like every morning she just tells me like she's like recounting like a fun night with her friends.
Yeah, they're probably coming to talk to her and they know that she can hear them and communicate. And yeah, it's not scary. It's an amazing gift that she has. It's beautiful.
I feel like you should journal her conversations with you.
Like yeah, I should. Specifically just the one book one really stands out to me.
Oh yeah. So what do you think about this? Casson says here, I think it's not a spirit like for the bathroom, but the whole room filling with energy. Was there a fire that happened in that room at any time?
That was I don't know. That room was kind of a mystery room. When we toured the house the first time, it was just filled with junk. Like almost like being blocked off status, completely filled. So we never really like got a look in there. But then by the time we moved in, everything was gone. And we had to turn it into a bathroom so quickly. But no, I don't think no signs of fire damage or anything, thank goodness. But there is a chimney. There is a chimney in that room. You can't really tell.
Oh.
Half of it is turned into a closet. So when you walk into the bathroom, immediately I have some clothes hanging. But then like there's like a bulkhead almost. That's a chimney.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because Dave had mentioned, I wonder if there was a fire. Like, that's not the first person who's wondered if there was a fire.
Definitely a chimney straight through that room.
Huh. That's interesting.
Chimney is fire.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed we have quite a few comments, Amy.
I do. I've been sharing them.
Yeah. Well, no, we have like a lot more than what I thought. There's Sandra's on. David Riley. Hi. He said he's got his bourbon. He's been waiting on us for hours.
Yeah, let's get some shout outs. Let's get some shout outs.
Yeah, Amy Jo Tyler says, I got water. Sandra says hello.
Laura,
people got their drinks and their water.
Hello. Yes, thank you guys for joining us. That's fantastic. We're glad you could make it. So, is there anything else that you want to share in your notes there? Give her. Being a homeowner, we're thankful that you could come on. And this is the first time you're meeting, not me, but the other girls. So this is kind of fun.
But I feel like I know you.
I know.
You know all about me. You've seen it all.
You're the coolest person I've never met.
I love that. Was so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, we take a lot of care into our home. Obviously, like when we moved in, our friends were devastated for us. They're like, "This house is trash. This house is trash." But we've turned our whole aesthetic. I call it garbage chic, where everything we just find on the side of the road. Everything's from the side of the road, and junk sales and estate sales, and my friend's basement. That cool pink fridge door thing came from my friend's basement, and yeah, it's just garbage chic around here. In the part two video, at minute 12, you guys are freaking out about a large thunk, and you're like, "Oh, Mishka's jumped off the counter." Like he doesn't jump off anything. There's tree cats and there's ground cats. He's a ground cat. Like he's always like under stuff, and he's never climbed on the counters. He never really jumps up on the beds. He's always like under stuff. That loud thunk here could not have been Mishka. He doesn't jump off anything.
That's what Tara said.
He's a big boy. He don't jump for nothing.
And Amy was
loud.
Oh, he is not.
Yeah, he's. But the fact is like normal.
Sure. Tara's like, yeah, Amy, that's what's happening.
Yeah. No. The one and only time Imogen has had a non-family babysitter is our 11-year-old neighbor. So we were out quite late. I warned her, but she lives right across the road, so her parents were right there. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna be home like after midnight, like maybe like 1 a.m. And we come home at 1 a.m. I thought something was strange with the house. Every single light was on in the house, including the outdoor porch light. Every single light, every lamp, every light was on, and there's poor little babysitter. She's just like on her phone waiting for us. Didn't say a word. We got home, didn't say a word, like just bolted out the front door, ran across the street, like went into her house so fast. Like that poor little girl was just spooked out of her mind. Being in my house, I've never followed up with her because I don't want her to be scared. I want her to forget.
Yeah.
She's my number one babysitter now. Oh. So she was so spooked. The whole thing was lit up like a Christmas tree. It was so funny.
Was this before or after we came?
Oh, I don't remember anymore. It must have been before. No, it must have been before. Okay. It had to have been before. This was a while ago. Like within this spring, but I think it must have been right before you guys came.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my neighbor. Oh, I think we were texting with our neighbor quite late. We're like, we don't know if they're gone or not. So we're texting our neighbor right behind us, and he's like, no, they're still there. I hear them screaming and giggling, and it's 2 a.m. He could hear you in his house from my house.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
He could hear you all the way.
That's
about
a
something
testament to how fun we are.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all. Yeah, and the other gravestone mentioned, I just wanted to put out there, the JAH gravestone is definitely the original owner. So this would have been Sadie's dad, John Hunt, who built the house. So I've got somewhere maybe 4 skeletons in my yard, but we're unconcerned.
Yes.
Unconcerned.
I love that you're totally not concerned about it at all.
No, I walk around. If I need a drink of water in the night or something, no lights are going on. I'm just going right down, one eye open, one eye closed, just get my drink and just go right back. I'm not scared. I've never felt anything. I mean, a ghost cat, he's more of a prankster than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Waking us up and opening the basement door. No, I've never felt anything. I feel great. I love my house.
Your house has an amazing vibe, honestly. Like,
thank you.
I can understand why you have not had fear in your house.
No.
Yeah, there may be some bumps and creaks and whatnots, and
yeah,
equipment went wild everywhere we went, but there wasn't like a scary there.
Thank you so much.
David asked a question. Can you read that?
Has Mom ever run into something that really scared her, or has she just rolled with it?
No. No, honestly, no. Like no. It's all just been good times here. We've had an amazing time. We bought the house in 2017. So 7-ish years here, and no, it's all just been good times.
Did you have anything else on your notes that you wanted to share with us? Any thoughts, questions, anything like that?
No, that was it. Like just like trying to think of any anecdotes, but yeah, really just the ghost cat in my sister's butt. That was it. Yeah, we just have a great time. Like before the pandemic and everything, before we had our daughter, it was just tons of fun, lots of fun now, different fun with kids and whatever. It's all just been great vibes. That barn, the seance shed, we had an 80-person party there one time.
Wow.
For our 5th anniversary. We had 3 bands and 2 DJs in there. It was great. Only good times.
So Laura's asking, what's the scariest occurrence that's happened in your house, if anything?
Maybe just that flooding event. We've never had water in our house ever, and that big flooding event back in, was it June or July, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden we had 18 inches of water in the basement, but the well never overflowed. It stayed at its constant, and I don't think it will ever overflow. I think there's something keeping the water down.
Interesting.
It's never overflowed. Like water has come up to it physically from the outside from that flooding event, but it itself, and it flows with the rain, and it goes with like the groundwater, but it itself has never overflowed.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that for me, if I were to answer for you, the scariest occurrence would be the fact that your daughter predicts the future all the time. That's pretty freaky. She always is coming to you telling things, and then things happen.
Oh, the newest one the other day, she's like, oh yeah, I visited my old mom at my old house.
See? That's reincarnation, man. I'm telling you.
Excuse me?
Yeah. She said what?
She said, I just visited my old mom at my old house.
Yeah.
I forgot about that till just now.
My youngest daughter used to say that. I have 3 daughters. And my youngest daughter, when she was little, she'd come up and she'd like touch my face, and she'd be like, look at me, and she'd say, Mom, you're the best mommy I ever had. Like, how many you have? And she said it so many times. Many times.
But Imogen, my daughter is not scared of the house, because every time we drive away, like this afternoon we went to go grocery shopping, we're driving away, she's like, no, I don't want to go. I miss my house already. I love my house. I miss it. Like we can still fully see it in the rear view mirror.
I love that though. We absolutely loved your house. We fell in love with it. We had the best time. We got so much evidence. Like your house was active, and it wasn't scary or bad. It was just constantly active and tricking us and playing with us. Like it was so good.
It was so active. We continued to eat nachos for an hour.
It was like dinging, and you're like, okay.
Ding in, and then I go, I wonder if there's a pattern, and then it goes ding ding. I was like, oh, I guess there's not a pattern. Like just
eating or not, one of us will be like, and we just keep eating nachos. This ew.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned at one point in one of the videos, you're like, oh, we're just starving, like all this. I'm just so hungry. I wake up so every single morning of my whole life living here. I wake up so hungry. I have to eat first thing when I wake up. Like it doesn't. It's 5:30, whatever. I'm eating something.
You're fighting demons in your sleep. That's why.
But I don't dream either. My younger sister, who's so mad about the portal, she also gets mad at me because I don't dream. I don't dream.
She's so mad at you about the portal in your basement. That's so funny that she's so mad. But she's gonna
so
watch
mad.
episode 2 to know we closed it.
Yeah, she was just she had a big watch party with her and her friends were just like, they're like, no.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We know
I'll have to tell her. I'll tell her that the portal's closed. You have to watch part two to find out.
Exactly. Part 2. There's 2 parts, people.
Part 2 to find out.
Make sure you watch both parts. There's such good evidence. It was a really fun time. And, we got to hear Spotted Ghost said they saw our live on Instagram, found us on YouTube, and subscribed. Thank you. We appreciate that. And
together.
Yay, that's so nice. So Laura also does a paranormal podcast in Alaska. That's really cool. That's what Dave just said. He just did a podcast with kids on past lives. That's really neat.
Old mom, old house.
Yeah. And then David said his son would tell us about his other parents as well. So past lives, kids with past lives.
Even the cat's having a past life at your house.
I know.
Yeah, my cat.
That's crazy.
Did you guys have any questions for Joelle or anything? Mishka's mom, while we're here. Tara or Tanya, do you guys want to have any more questions or anything like that? Does anyone else have questions for us? We're probably going to wrap it up. It's been about an hour.
I have one more anecdote. I forgot about this one. My mom reminded me. One time we were here, it was when my daughter was little. So those kind of chaotic days. We're just waiting for Victor to come home from work. And we normally keep the door closed, like between the kitchen and the back porch, there's a door. We normally keep that closed just to have a separation. And me and my mom are in the kitchen, and we so clearly heard Victor come home. We're like, oh, finally, he's home. Like, we need a break, whatever. And we heard him come in, close the door, put his keys down, boots off, whatever. And we're waiting for him to walk in through the door, the next door, the kitchen door. He came home like 15 minutes after that. It was not him. So I had totally forgotten about that. So that was maybe 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
And we heard him, came down, his little routine, keys down, bag down, boots off, coat up. It was just like, all right, walk through that door, guy. And me and my mom both heard it at the same time.
And yet you're not a believer.
I was just gonna say, Amy.
I'm gonna choose not to believe because I have to live here.
I suppose it's maybe you're choosing not to, like you said, but
I live in a very haunted house. I live in a very, very haunted house, and so I'm not scared. I'm less scared because I understand what they are, and it doesn't. We coexist together, and it's like having invisible roommates.
Or invisible pets.
In your case, yeah. Laura wants to know, how did we close the portal? Do you want to tell her how we did it, Tanya?
Well, because we opened it, it was more of like just it wasn't like a traditional portal the way you'd think opening a portal. It was more of just using the water and the well as a gateway, I guess you could say. And so we just closed it down. We used sage and I always have a hard time saying. How do you say that, Tara? The wood.
I can say it right.
I can never say it right. San Palo
Santo?
Sal Palo Santo, see? The word. We used that and we did like incantations and stuff, and we thanked the spirits, and we definitely got a sense that there were guardians that were attached to the family they weren't letting anything in that wasn't meant to be there. Like we very strongly felt that. So it was locked down by the time we left.
Oh yeah. We locked it up. Well, we may have let a stray cat in, but we're not perfect.
We're animal lovers.
Maybe it was Mishka letting it in. Maybe it was Mishka that invited it in.
Mishka
was there the whole time with us.
He's a fighter.
We weren't specific. Like when we were closing the portal, we weren't specific to like human spirits and animals. So
This was a cat lover house. When we moved in, the old couple we bought it from, they had rigged up a whole system of like cat ladders and cat ledges and like cat runs, and like even had like huge holes drilled in some of the walls so that they could go like through walls.
Yeah, they were going through walls. Mishka was going through walls when we were there.
Yeah, up in the attic. Yeah, he knows he's not supposed to do that.
We were sitting there up in the attic, and at one point, I think it was when Amy and Tanya were scrying, and I was sitting videoing, and I looked over, and all of a sudden, Misha came like up through the wall. And oh
hey! He knows he's not. He knows better.
It was easy on the top half, but then his bottom half was a little bit harder to get up through.
Yeah, we call him Sir Tubbs. Yeah, the previous owners were huge cat lovers, clearly by the oil painting in the thick fireplace. But yeah, they had this whole system of runs and ladders and ledges and like all these like crazy things like just for cats.
Amazing.
So it could just be any one of the number of cats.
The tiny guest room across the hall from the bathroom you guys didn't really film in, the tiny guest room, that had so much cat stuff in it, so much. Like just full of cat stuff.
I think we solved the ghost cat mystery.
There has been hella cats in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we connected with them, which is cool, and one came back.
Yeah, and he's just been pranking us ever since.
I love it. So if we want to come down and visit you, can we come visit again? And we would.
I implore you to come on Halloween. You will see the movie Halloween Town ain't got nothing on Mahone Bay. It is just the hordes of children. Like it's all I can do to hand out the candy, like as quick as possible. Like it's crazy. It's the Halloween Town.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on with us. We are so thrilled that we got to have you on and talk about your perspective of watching our investigation, never seeing your host, and then you kind of confirming things of what we found. And I just loved hearing all of your side of the story. So that was fantastic. Like it was one of our favorite investigations. And so thank you for allowing us in your home.
It was so cool. I'm going to have to download it and get it on VHS so I can go watch it out of my seance shed on VHS and reenact the rager.
I love that now you're calling it the seance shed. I love that so much.
Party barn. It was the party barn, but we're grown up now. It's the seance shed.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. So we're going to come visit you soon. And until next time, guys. See you guys on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. See you there.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.